Hello to all my Tingle fans, and welcome back to Only Tingles ASMR. Today's video is going to be a Switch 2 games walkthrough. I'm not going to do a Switch 2 unboxing. I thought about that when I first got the Switch 2 a couple weeks ago. I think it's been out for like a month and a half or 2 months at the time I'm recording this video, and I wanted to do like a little unboxing, but I was too anxious to play. But yeah, I will just walk through some of the games today. I'll make some maybe tapping sounds and things like that. It's going to be a whispered video. I'll probably do some button noises and things like that, but I'm mostly going to just talk through the games that I have. I'm not a super avid gamer. I'm much more casual. So when I was younger, I was very much a big time video game player. Like I played all the original like Call of Duty games and Halo and things that were like very iconic, revolutionary games. But as you get older, like you advance in your career, just a little bit harder to dedicate a lot of time to some of those games. And to me, I feel like the Switch 2 is a nice balance between just casual gaming and more serious gaming. I would say like the consoles like Xbox and PlayStation are very much for the more in-depth gaming experiences. Not that you can't get that on the Switch 2, you certainly can, and I'll talk about one game that fits that criteria. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's easier. You can pick it up and play it. You don't have to sit at a couch or wherever and watch your TV. You could just pick it up and play it wherever. So I think that is the biggest draw for me with the Switch. The Switch 2. I've been playing more Switch 2 this week, or the last couple weeks since I got this, and I probably played all year up until this point. But yeah, I'm just gonna be drinking Olipop today. I've got cream soda. I love this flavor. I don't have any hard candy sounds or gum chewing. I know those are fan favorites on this channel. Okay, let me break out the console here. Okay. So, I don't know if this is going to make good noise. So, I think for those who maybe like aren't as, informed or whatnot on the Switch versus Switch 2, I'm also not super up to date on like, all the technical aspects and whatnot. From what I understand, like the screen is obviously bigger. I think you've got a little bit clearer resolution. Let me see if this is a little bit centered. I believe you have better resolution, right, on the screen. And then obviously the hardware stuff, the computing power is supposed to be a lot better, so games can run more smoothly, things like that. Again, I'm a casual gamer. I probably don't even recognize some of this stuff. I can absolutely see the graphics, and the color is way nicer on this model versus the previous model, that's for sure. It feels like a nice upgrade too. It's a little more weighty. It just feels like a better gaming system. But anyway, the Switch 2, they allow you to switch all your games from your previous Switch over to the Switch 2, which is what I did. Right now I'm only playing 3 games on the Switch 2, so I think, I don't know if it's a drawback, but something that people were a little upset about, there's not a ton of Switch 2 exclusive launch games, meaning like games that are built for the new computing power and graphics and whatnot that, that the whole point of the system is, right? There are a few, though, in a couple older games, which I'll talk about, where they've kind of upgraded to the Switch 2. But I think the big game that Nintendo was pushing with the launch of the Switch 2 is Mario Kart World. I think most people are familiar with Mario Kart. It is a very fun, like easy to pick up and play, fun for the whole family. Anybody can play it, but it's competitive. Adults can play it, little kids can play it. It's a very fun, easy game. Mario Kart World was their big rollout game. There's even I think the Switch 2 is being offered as a bundle, so you could buy just the Switch 2, which is what I got, or you could buy the Switch 2 with the Mario Kart bundle. But yeah, this is a huge selling game for Nintendo. It always has been. It was a classic Nintendo 64 game. So, Mario Kart World, very similar to any of the other Mario Kart games if you've played them. A couple new elements. So, I did play the last Mario Kart game. I think it was like Mario Kart Deluxe, which was on the first Switch. And correct me, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple new elements in this Mario Kart World that is kind of cool. So, obviously there's the standard racing mechanic, and there's different like battle style races and things like that, but they've introduced a cool like free roam. So it's open world is this new, like, it's been a buzzword for the last couple years in gaming, where you can pretty much explore wherever you want. There's no place that's off limits. That's what they've done in Mario Kart World. There's a special free roam mode where you can basically just drive around, do whatever you want. As you're doing that, you can collect coins. They have like fun little missions, like side missions, which I think is the first time Mario Kart has done something like that. I could be wrong, but it's a mission where you have like 20 seconds to get like 30 coins that are spread out, or 5 attempts to try to make your way through a couple rings, like things like that. There's also ways to get skins for your characters. So if you're Mario, there's like a Mario with a plumber outfit. There's Mario with like a chef hat. So you can they've kind of gamified it a little bit more. So it's more than just your typical racing, which people still love, and that's obviously the big draw of Mario in general. So yeah, very fun game. I've been playing a lot of it. Honestly, it's very addicting. It's just very simple and easy to play. They have all sorts of characters and cars that you can unlock, and trying to find like your best combo, because certain players, like, there's a couple different mechanics with like speed and handling and acceleration. So different players have different kind of like speed ratings and acceleration and stuff like that with different carts. So the fun of this is like trying to get your perfect kind of combination. So I've been playing that a lot. It's a lot of fun. So, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I was talking about earlier that the Switch 2 is maybe more for like casual, could be a little more casual, fan of gaming, not as in-depth. That is entirely not the case when you talk about Zelda. I think a lot of people, if you've ever played video games, are aware of this game. They have made some iconic games dating back to Ocarina of Time, I think was the name, in N64, Game Boy. They are just Zelda has been a very big name in video games for a very long time. Innovative, new kind of features and game playing mechanisms, things like that. So it is an iconic franchise. They have continuously just impressed people with the games they roll out, and Tears of the Kingdom is no exception. Now, I bought this game on the original Switch. There was another Zelda they released on the Switch. I can't believe I can't remember the name of it right now. Oh, I think I probably have it over here. Yeah, Breath of the Wild. Sorry, okay, Breath of the Wild. So that was a game that was one that I played quite a bit of. Now, I have not played as much Tears of the Kingdom, so one thing they did, if you had this game on your Switch, they let you upgrade to the Switch 2 version, like enhanced for the graphics with this system, for like $10, I think, which was cool. So I did that. Now, this game is incredibly complex. I don't know the number hundreds and hundreds of hours of playtime in this game. This is the, epitome of open world. You can do quite literally whatever you want in this game. I believe it is the highest rated game that's ever been out for the Nintendo Switch, I think. And it's up there in terms of like just the highest rated games of all time across gaming systems. It's, again, no shortage of what you can do. You can collect like ingredients and material and things like that from the wild, just in the world. Create weapons, clothing, cook food. Obviously, there are missions, right? Like main missions where there's bad guys you're trying to fight, defeat. You get your players stronger. So there's like a main storyline. There's also like side quests and things to just kind of boost your character's strength, whatever. So truly, like, this game is incredibly in depth. I'm looking forward to playing it a lot more on this system. I'm sure if you're a gamer, you know this game or have heard of it or have played it, but for anyone that's just curious, if you're not really into gaming and just want to know what that looks like, I encourage you to maybe just pull up a gaming channel on YouTube, search for Tears of the Kingdom, and watch just like a playthrough or someone just playing it. It's pretty cool. It's just mind-blowing how in-depth this game is. And then, of course, so I think many of you have heard me talk, but obviously I'm a big baseball fan. I grew up playing baseball. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I grew up watching the Dodgers, so naturally I'm always going to play baseball games. So MLB The Show is like the core baseball game. It is a lot of fun. So there are, back when when I was first playing video games, if anyone else that's watching has played, there's MVP Baseball was like the iconic franchise when I was younger. But baseball games have come a long way since that time. So in this game, you can do several, there's the traditional, if you just want to pick it up and play a game, great, you can do that, simple. But there are a ton of other really cool story modes or game modes. So a couple of them, the biggest one is called Road to the Show, where you basically create your own player. So you pick your position, you can make your player look however you want. There's a cool feature too where through the iPhone or for any Android iPhone app, they have a companion app, and you can take a picture of your face and import it to the game. So that's like your player, which is pretty cool. But basically you create your own player, and they start you in high school, and then you go to college, and then eventually get drafted to the MLB, and you're basically like, how well you play determines how better you get, and it's just really fun watching your player's career progress while you're playing these games. So that's a very big selling point, a very big staple feature of these games. One of the other ones that's a little more recent is called Diamond Dynasty. I am not as involved in Diamond Dynasty as others are. I probably should play it more. But Diamond Dynasty, you basically get to create your own team, create the uniforms, stadium, pick the colors, your team name, city, all that stuff. And then through various little mini games, if you will, you can unlock players and just historical players. They kind of do it on a baseball card system. So a player that was really good in 2007, you might be able to unlock and put that guy on your team with his stats from how good he was in 2007. He might still be playing in the year 2015 and not as good, but you have the 2007 version anyway. Probably getting too in depth on that, but you basically can get cards, you unlock players, you position them on your team, you play other people online in just the computer story mode, however you want to do it. But it's really cool. There's also, I don't know if this was on the previous year's games. I didn't play, I don't think I played the last year's game, but you can, it's called Storyline. So basically you relive all sorts of ones from previous players. So like a player who had like a really iconic season, you get to kind of jump in throughout the season and like reenact what that player did. They have some really cool like throwback ones with like players from the Negro Leagues or players from, and in case anyone doesn't know, that the Negro Leagues was a iconic baseball league back when, unfortunately black ball players were not allowed to play in Major League Baseball, and there was a ton of super talented players in that league that a lot of people think would have been like some of the best players of all time had they been allowed to play in the MLB, which is, if you've seen any video or read up on it, like that's legit. But it's really cool because there's like an educational aspect where it talks you through about like that player's career, who he was, like why he was so famous, things like that. It's really fun. I just love it for the historical aspect too. I know some of the iconic players from different leagues and different time periods, but I don't know, being able to see it and hear about like some of their best achievements and like replaying them, it's really cool. I might even do a video where we play that and we just like read through it, play the game. It's a very cool historical thing for me, being a baseball fan, baseball lover. I think it's a really cool feature they added, and it just makes the game that much more fun. So one other cool thing, and I don't know if I'm going to get through all these games, I'll probably talk through. One thing we haven't shown yet is, I've told you all several times, but you'll see here, I am a huge Pokemon nerd. I always have been. Majority of my time on game systems will be spent playing Pokemon. I've got Pokemon, there's Violet, Shield, Arceus. This is Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Quest. There's, I've got Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. I've got Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So there are a lot of Pokemon games on my system. I could talk about those. I think most people are probably relatively familiar with at least what Pokemon is, so I don't know if I need to get all into that during this video. But the other thing I do want to get into, what's really cool is if you pay for the online like service for Nintendo, where you can play other people online, download games, whatever it might be, they allow you to basically play. So Nintendo 64, Nintendo GameCube, several other systems, they have uploaded and they allow you to play iconic games from those systems, which is really cool. So Star Fox, like you name it, there's just Pilot Wings, there's so many games that you can play from the older Nintendos. They even have like the Game Boy Advance games, and so that's a really cool, fun added benefit, and those are free. So you can play, you could technically buy a Switch and then like not even buy any of the games. If you wanted to just play like the older games, you could. They have very extensive libraries of the older games, and I think they add new ones all the time. So that's a really cool added benefit of having the Switch. And then the other game that I do want to talk about before I end the video, obviously I've got all these Pokemon games. This is a pretty funny bee simulator game. I saw it once, last year or earlier this year. It was on sale for like $1, and I bought it. And it's pretty funny. You literally are a bee, and you just fly around, and there's like missions, like you have to get honey and pollen and sting people, things like that. It's pretty funny. For $1, I was like, why not? But the other game that I want to talk about is Hogwarts Legacy. So, Harry Potter, very iconic. I think a lot of people know Harry Potter, obviously. They made an incredible game, similar, I'll say, to Zelda in that huge open world, really not no limit to what you can do. Similar experience where you're collecting things in the wild, crafting materials, like learning new spells, things like that. All sorts of side missions. It's a very incredible game. I think it took them years to make this game. I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was like a 10-year game. Graphics and everything are incredible. If they end up making this game for the Switch 2 or allowing like some kind of remake or whatever, I will certainly buy it. But yeah, these are the three main games I've been playing since the Switch 2 launched, because there's no Pokemon game yet, but you better believe there's a Pokemon game coming out later this year that I will absolutely be playing for the Switch 2. And also I didn't mention it earlier, but these are actual grips. These aren't the grips that come with the Switch. You'll see this is the regular. I put these on here because they have added hand support here so you can play your game. But anyway, yeah, that's my Switch 2 gaming catalog and what I'm playing right now. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time,